Well, hello there all you marvelous people, and welcome back to another episode of An Ecologist Plays, a channel where we get to talk about nature while playing games. Now we are back on the moon of Pandora here in Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, as we are immediately under attack by some viper wolves. Now at our level, and we don't really need anything from them, we're just going to keep on running because we have a quest to go find Eetu. And of course, if you have any questions about any of the things we encounter in the game here, please do pop it down in the comments. Now of course, from the thumbnail you'll be able to tell what I'll be talking about today, but I have no idea. So let's go find out together what on earth I am talking about. Now, Eetu was last seen around this village over here, and immediately as we come closer, we can hear all kinds of songs being played on the flutes, and a whole bunch of other sounds in the background as well. Of course, one really has to appreciate the sounds they have in the game. They have really done a marvelous job. Apparently, Eetu is in trouble. We're just going to apparently jump down and head over there. We can, of course, break our fall by just aiming for the big leaves, which is an awesome way to make our way down. Now, as we are making our way through the forest here, we do also see this weird little flower over here, the Flamingo Orchid, which has got some fruit down below. Now, orchids, and if we actually go back and look at him, you can see this is definitely an orchid. It's got the same wings over here that you typically find with orchids on Earth as well. It's got the top hood there as well. A lot of orchids will have that in there, and then it should have somewhere in between. Oh, hello there. Yeah, of course these ones do damage you, however, which the ones on Earth don't do. They don't shoot all kinds of stuff at you. But if you actually look, inspect it here, it does have a very strange shape. Now, the orchids we have on Earth will have these wings. It will have a labellum, which is this lip at the bottom part over here. Now, if it were an orchid, somewhere over here, it would most likely have the pollen, because orchids have got this strange mechanism of being pollinated, where instead of just dumping a little bit of pollen on the pollinator, they dump a whole pollen sac on the pollinator. And they've got a specific way that the pollinator has to go in order to actually access nectar or whatever they are collecting. So in this pouch over here, there would most likely be some nectar, and as the pollinator goes in, most likely from the back here, crawls in to go get to the nectar, it would bump up against a specific part of the flower of the orchid, and in the process then this little glue-like substance sticks to them, to the pollinators, and then as they fly off, the whole pollen sac gets pulled out of this part of the flower. And then when they go to another flower, they actually rub this whole pollen sac against the female parts of the flower here and pollinate it. And therefore, fertilization can happen and the seeds can develop. So this may be an orchid. It may actually be a completely different family. Notice, however, it can move around and follow us around, showing that it's most likely a planimal, which is unique to the moon of Pandora. Planimal, basically an animal-plant combination. So it's a species that's somewhere between an animal and a plant. So it is able to detect movement, and plants, of course, don't move around like these. We did see the cat's ear plant also doing this, moving around as we move. And then these little guys also do it. We're just going to collect its fruit over here. Also very different from the orchids on Earth, which don't form these spiny fruit. Instead, they would form these longish pods very often, and have thousands or millions of tiny seeds. They don't produce fleshy fruit like we just got there. And I can see RDA. I guess it is going to be time for a bit of light genocide over here. Okay, that's one down. Two down. Scarab crawlers. Okay, listen, we already took care of you last episode. I'm not here for any trouble. Just leave me alone. I'm here to get rid of the RDA. Like that. Of course, being in the swampy area, we immediately have more of these pitcher plants, which are, of course, carnivorous, eating a variety of insects that are flying around here. The idea is that the insects would walk along the lip here, most likely enticed by some kind of nectar or a sweetness or an oil perhaps. And then as they walk along the lip here, it's very slippery, and they actually drop down into the liquid down below. And of course then they get digested by the plant, and it sucks up the little insect soup, which is rich in nitrogen and phosphorus in particular, which is why they are catching insects.
An Ecran fought in this cave. Its headpiece snapped in the struggle, clawed its way out. Eetu landed with his Ecran Some, They fought the RDA. They got trapped in the cave, but escaped up there. Is that Ikran blood? A scent trail to follow.
Okay, so let's follow Zomi's trail over here. Let's go see if we can find Eetu. I can hear RDA up ahead.
RDA. I'd better hurry.
Of course, we are under attack by Viper Wolves here. These do appear to be adults. You can see here that they've got brilliant markings all over them. So these were not young ones. These were adults out hunting, using their keen senses, of course, to track me and to find me. And then working as a pack to try and, you know, kill me and eat me. However, they didn't have bows and I did. Okay, here's Zomi. Under attack, we've got to protect her, I guess. Yeah, there we go. These guys are vicious. But a staff sling is a marvelous thing. There we go. Okay. Okay, Zomi does appear to be injured. Hello, Eetu. Why are you in there? Don't worry, Zomi. We're just going to try and help your dad. Okay, we both are now stuck in here. However, we made it. We're going to make it out. Fire, of course. Okay, so after finally escaping from the helicopter, here we are. Zomi is missing in action, so we're just going to hopefully go find her now. Oh, Zomi.
Quick! I found her!
What have they done to you, my beautiful? I am here now. Let me carry your pain, Zome. Let me help you. We have to go home, Zome. You have to fight, so we can go home together. You are not fighting. You are supposed to. Do not leave me. Please. I am sorry.
But we can save her, can't we?
Return to Ewa. Until whispering winds lift us once more. Kindred.
I was too late, Eetu.
Oh.
I'm so sorry. Please, if there's anything I can do.
Okay.
Thanks to you, sir. Zome's last flight must be honored. Perhaps we can do it together once I return the home trip.
Okay, we will do so, Eetu. Right, so that has to be one of the saddest scenes in the game. And losing an Ikran is not something that you can just get over. This is like losing an extremely close family member. So, yeah. Of course, the music during that whole scene was just extraordinary. I've got to really tip my hat to everyone involved with the music, the sounds, the everything in this game. And of course, the creature and the plant design. I mean, look at these magnificent Beluga Flytraps over here. And this is basically another big carnivorous plant. I mean, the idea here is similar to the pitcher plants we saw earlier, that there will be some waxy secretions over there, some nectar perhaps, some kind of something to attract the insects. They come and fly in, they land on there, they walk around, and then they drop down into this vase shape over here, and in the process then they drown in the liquid that is inside here. All of these carnivorous plants have got a hood over the tube because you don't want raindrops falling into this funnel over here, raising the water level and letting all the insects that are inside flow out. You want to keep this area over here protected against excess rain. And the easiest way to do that is to have some kind of hood over here. So the Beluga Flytraps have that. The pitcher plants we saw earlier also have it. And the ones that are over here, these pitcher plants, they also, of course, have that. All of them will have some kind of way of keeping the water out. So all the carnivorous plants that have a tube that kills the insects that are trapped in there will have some kind of lid over them to protect them against excess rain. I never realized this, but there are even some old ones over here as well. Some pitchers that have finished their job and they've died, they've left. This is one plant over here. This is an old leaf. So all of these pitchers are basically just leaves that are rolled over to form this. This is an old one. It's no longer doing its job effectively. It is withering away. The energy is being recycled. The nutrients are being recycled. Everything is being recycled to form a new leaf that is forming right over there. Such attention to detail. Now, until we have an Ikran, of course, we are running everywhere unless we fast travel. And then once we have an Ikran, oh, the world just opens up quite significantly. Alright, we now have some better gear. We've got some better armor. We shouldn't die as rapidly or be in as much danger so quickly. So let's just quickly run up to Eetu and go tell her about what happened to Eetu. Hello, Eetu. Here we are.
Sorry. I was looking for
You're not Eetu.
I should find Eetu.
Carnot just disappeared. Where did he go? Where did he come from? Where did he go? Goodness knows. Okay, so Eetu is missing. She should be outside somewhere. Carnot basically just told us that he is unhappy with the fact that we are, meddling. In essence, that's what it boiled down to. He passive-aggressively told us he doesn't like us meddling here. He was looking for the peaceful spirit of the Sarin too, but apparently we have died, because we are not peaceful. Let's go look for Eetu, who doesn't mind the fact that we are not peaceful. Right, so basically we are going to get stung by the Kinglore Queen. That's what it boils down to find out what on earth is wrong with the Kinglore, because Home Tree over here is the only nesting grounds of the Kinglore moths at the moment, which is weird because it's called the Kinglore Forest, this area that we are in. So called because the Kinglore moths were all over this place. They were really abundant, and now we only have them here at Home Tree, which is kind of strange. They've disappeared from all over in the rest of the forest. So we are going to go and find out why on earth that is the case. And to do that, we need honey. Particularly swamp hive nectar, which is a type of honey that's produced by bees in the swamps. Particularly hatchet bees, they say here. Now, to find the honey, we need to travel to the swamplands, which are somewhere down that side. So it'll be lower-lying areas where water will accumulate and be stagnant. So a soil that doesn't drain very well, either a clay or a silt-like soil. And of course, because it is in the lowlands, all the water from over here will run down and collect there, causing this marshy environment. Now, bees, for example, many of them are quite specific in the conditions they want for their hives, where they live. And the hatchet bees in the swamps, no different. They, of course, will prefer some kind of swampy environment for them to actually form their hives in. And it says in the Hunter's Guide that the coloration of the hive is based on the nectars and the types of plants they visit for the production of their honey, and for the wax they use in the production of the hives themselves. Now, it does seem that honey does have a specific taste based on what plants are used to actually produce the honey. From which plants the nectar and the pollen is collected. Oh, there's some RDA. We're going to have to get rid of them. And if we just shoot this one more time, there we go. We should now be able to just release this poor Sturmbeast over here and let it run off into the distance. Goodbye, little one. Be free. Off you go, laddie. Ah, that's marvelous. We've done a good deed here. As I was saying, the honey, of course, has a particular taste based on what plants the nectar and pollen are collected from. And in South Africa, for example, fynbos honey is really prized. Fynbos honey being made when the honeybees collect pollen and nectar from proteas and all kinds of fynbos plants. Okay, there are some scarab crawlers right over here, not knowing what to do with their lives. Seem to be doing some kind of weird mating ritual conga over here. Hello there. I think they're all young ones though. Okay, one of them is polluted. Probably going to keel over, unfortunately. And of course, this is the reason why they are polluted. We are nearing another RDA facility. Now, as we are running closer to where we are supposed to be getting the nectar, or the honey, there is something known as mad honey, and if you haven't heard of it, it is quite strange. But it happens when honeybees collect pollen and nectar from rhododendron, which is poisonous, which is toxic. And then they make this honey that causes a whole bunch of issues. And there are even reports of it being used as some kind of chemical warfare to some extent, with when an army invaded another area, the locals knew about the mad honey and they put out jars and jars of this mad honey, and the invading army were easily massacred because they were, I'm not sure whether they were tripping balls or whether they were just feeling really, really poorly, but they were poisoned in any case by the...
Can't gather with this pollution everywhere.
Yeah, we've got to get rid of the pollution.
I don't know what to do.
So here we do have a nice little hive over here. The poor bees over here, the hatchet bees, are doing their best to produce honey, but it is polluted. So it's most likely not fit for consumption, similar to that mad honey that could have, either caused hallucinations or resulted in the army feeling poorly and being massacred quite easily. Wish you could do that to the RDA, just kind of cause them to feel extremely unwell and get rid of them easily. This, however, is a big facility, so let's see if we can try and take this out stealthily. Let nature return. As you can see here, lots and lots of RDA waiting for us inside. So we're going to try and take out as many as we can, as stealthily as we can. Now all hell has broken loose. Two guys have tried to call the alarm, unsuccessfully, and the outside over here has been cleared. Now it's a case of just quickly hacking the turrets and disabling them. Add another one down. There's a suit coming up here, but it is one of those ones that the pilot is very, very weak, so we should be able to take it out. If it looks this way, come on. Oh, no, it's not that one. Oh. We can't get the guy that's calling the alarm. Oh man, was hiding. And now reinforcements are coming in. Of course they are. There goes stealth, I guess. I guess that's what you get if you try to be hasty, because you're trying to get back to the nature. So we've lost out on some of the loot, but that's alright. We're just going to go in and cause some chaos then, I guess. Shame. Shame, 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 shame. Okay, fine. You want it? Now get it. And there we go. Great stuff. Alright, I think I've literally killed everyone in here. Yeah, get your gas mining butts out of here. Let nature return. Okay, now before we forget, there should be a nice little area to loot, or to get a whole bunch of loot here somewhere. That's right over here. Okay, so we obtained the duty roster, which we can give to Solek for some more, well, whatever he has to offer. So that's basically like the currency we use with him. And I think we've got everything we need here. So let's go get the honey, which now would no longer be mad honey. It would now actually be normal, proper, good honey. Oh, there are some RDA up here as well. Let's first get rid of them, shall we? Mowing down the wildlife. No, stop it. Being attacked by viper wolves. That's what happened here. Of course, this poor old Sturm Beast also had been caught. We're just going to release it and stay out of its way as it charges into the forest. Now, we often think of honeybees as the main bees around the world, but by far the majority of bees actually don't produce these big honey combs. A lot of them are solitary bees, a lot of them are, well, do all kinds of other things. And honeybees are also not the most important pollinators around the world. There are many, many other species of bees that are better and more important pollinators than honeybees are. Hello there. Goodbye there. And then we should be able to get, there we go, some honey right over here. It's not the best quality, but we don't need the best quality for the quest. We're just going to
Got it.
pull that out. And again, as we go into nighttime, it's just so beautiful. We've got shimmy fly flying around. We've got all kinds of bioluminescent creatures, plants and animals all around. And finally, the doof 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 of the gas extractor in the background has subsided, and nature has reclaimed this area. And that is also where we're going to end today's session. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining me on our little adventure over here. Hope you learned something. We didn't talk a lot about nature. Hopefully next episode will be a little bit more informative. But until next time then, stay safe, everybody, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!